Kepler, Xiaoting and Yeso over Chihyun. After Kepler debuted, all eyes were on the groups not only because this is where all visuals and talents gather, but also for the fact that, in the history of Mnet's girl groups, there were no centers that faced so many mixed reactions from netizens. In fact, the majority of opinions even believed that she shouldn't have been the face of the group, and instead, Xiaoting and Yeso deserved the position way more. After Chihyun had been confirmed to be the center, netizens on many forums immediately voiced their opinions, saying that though they loved her vocal color and visuals, there was no way she could outshine the center material of Xiaoting and Yeso. Of course, no one could deny that Chihyun has all it takes to be a famous idol, but considering how K-pop is way over the cutesy phase, and has now moved on to an empowered and badass era, the fact that Chihyun's visual, vocal, and aura all fall on the bubbly side of the spectrum just doesn't seem to fit well with the public taste. The bigger issue is that, based on the impression of Kepler's debut song, many believe that since the group is set to pursue the girl crush and self-confidence concept, Xiaoting should have been the representative face, considering her chic visuals as well as the captivative aura. Besides Xiaoting, many also said Yeso should have been the center of Kepler rather than Chihyun. However, a bit different from Xiaoting, the debate now talks more about the skills and aura, because, in general, both Yeso and Chihyun have that candy-sweet visual overwhelming the classy look. Putting both Chihyun and Yeso on the scale, many people felt that there was a huge gap in capabilities, because at the end of the day, Yeso is almost like an ace, considering her 10-year experience as an actress. FYI, she was born in 2005, so that means she's been acting since the age of 5. Besides, her idol nature was also perfected as a former member of QDL and Busters. Going through the making and breaking of two groups, some pointed out that Yeso seemed to always know what to do and how to shine in the crowd, which was also the reason she was believed to have been the center of Kepler. This belief was even more solidified when more photos of Kepler, including some important ones like the teaser picture of the group, were released, and here, Yeso and Xiaoting were arranged to be in positions that garnered more attention than Chihyun. Despite the predictable outrage over the teaser photos, netizens believed Mnet still deliberately did this because they themselves couldn't ignore who represents the group best. Promise 9. Kyung over Jisoo. In Promise 9, a similar case also happened. Instead of Jisoo, some pointed out that Kyung deserved the center position way better in all aspects, from visual to capabilities. In fact, this stance wasn't only supported by the majority of the public, but was proven to be also by Pledis Entertainment, because in most of Promise 9's songs, Kyung has always been the member with the most vocal and screen distribution. Some even said it's now implicitly understood among fans that Jisoo was only the center for Promise 9's debut, but for the years after that, especially in a temporary group like this, the position must be changed whichever way the management felt most suitable. And in this case, it was Kyung rather than Jisoo. However, it's also hard to blame Pledis for this because, in the eyes of many people, Kyung is the most well-rounded member in Promise 9. Because the group is set to follow a bright and innocent image, her vocal color suited the refrain of most title songs. Besides talent, Kyung is believed to be more center material because of her biggest reputation and the most headline-making visual out of all members. In the past, Kyung has been the hot topic online for her gorgeous face various times. And back in 2019, when she dyed her hair pink, there was even a long article dedicated to only showing how people were shook over her visual. FYI, she was just 19 at the time. And as her beauty matures, apparently there will be more headlines for her to make with such a doll-like face. Itsy, Yeti over Ruchi. Sounds kinda hard to believe because Ruchi has established her name as a strong dancer and singer in K-pop. But according to many people, though Ruchi is undeniably good, Yeti is just simply a greater member in all aspects. The impression Yeti has on people as a shining star is so strong that, on Google, there are even questions going as, is Yeti the center of Itsy? Or, is Yeti the official center of Itsy now? On multiple forums, lots of netizens also expressed their frustration, whining that they were never able to wrap their heads around why she wasn't the center of Itsy. Firstly, because JYP Entertainment is the house of some of the best dancers in the industry, it's nothing weird that Ruchi nails this category perfectly. However, some netizens just found her stage presence and facial expressions kinda safe or try-hard, and she's not as eye-catching as Yeti. Then, when it comes to Yeti, most people found her all the factors to take on the center position. On Reddit, a thread titled, "Yeti feels more like a center than Ruchi does in Itsy," got up to 654 upvotes, making it a too popular opinion. Besides, Her chilling and powerful vocal color is also believed to suit Itzy's songs really well. That's why some said JYP ended up letting Yeti take on most of the choruses in the title songs. Plus, the fact that she could balance between her top-notch dancing capability, a stable, on-pitch live singing, while still managing to bring out the best stage presence, also proved her natural center material. TXT Yanjun over Beomgyu. While HYBE doesn't really assign the position for each member in TXT, it goes without saying in the K-pop community that Beomgyu is picked to be the center considering his standing at the very middle every time TXT has a comeback. However, despite the enthusiastic push of HYBE, netizens believed Yeonjun should have been the center of TXT. His presence is so overwhelming over Beomgyun that on Google, people often question things like, is Yeonjun the center of TXT? And even more shocking, one like, why is Soobin the leader and not Yeonjun? At one point, some even said that Yeonjun's influence had become so big that TXT ended up being Yeonjun and friends, though this wasn't the thing HYBE intended to do. According to many people, not only Yeonjun's visual, but even his vocal and dance techniques also best suit the image that TXT pursues. People also often found themselves unconsciously drawn to Yeonjun, regardless of their initial attention. On all performances, Yeonjun's groovy moves, good rapping, unique vocals, and especially the charismatic stage presence were said to enhance the group's dynamics considerably and make everything appealing to watch. Under questions asking people to assign the roles of TXT members, Yeonjun was picked to be the center of the group, not only on one post of one forum, but also on many different threads on different platforms. However, when it comes to Beomgyu, lots of people found it kinda hard to understand why he was chosen to be the center. Some said the appearance of Beomgyu is lit, but it just had too many feminine elements, while a sharper, more powerful, and unique look was expected. Plus, in literally all of TXT's songs, he always sings the least, and that made him less of a remarkable face when standing next to Yeonjun. The thing is, while the situation could have been saved had he had something unique in the vocal capabilities, that sadly just wasn't it. Because as Moa herself pointed out, unless people had really skilled ears or had been following TXT long enough, there was no way they could know Beomgyu was singing. She also claimed that his dancing is also overshadowed, and though he stands mostly in the front line, he rarely stands out because, firstly, he doesn't have many lines to be in the center, and secondly, his moves just aren't groovy and skillful like Yeonjun to make people unconsciously navigate toward him. So, do you agree with the opinion that the official center position of these groups should belong to another member? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Lastly, remember to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV because we'll be back with more interesting K-pop content. Thank you for watching.